Hey everybody, and welcome to Rumble Rewind. I'm Brandon. Today we're talking about WWE 2K24, specifically my faction. Let's get into it. Hey, before we get started, why don't you go ahead and do me a quick favor? Scroll down below this video and hit that subscribe button. While you're there, give this post a like and turn on your notifications so you never miss an upload. If you know somebody else who would love content like this, go ahead and share this video with them, as it does help the channel grow and continues to allow us to make more and more content like this. Let's get into it. There are a ton of videos out there right now about my faction and fans' dissatisfaction with the mode in general. I have to agree, for the most part, I am I'm very disappointed by this game mode. You know, when they first announced the revisions of this mode and how they were going to freshen it up and make it better, they talked about persona cards and things like that. I was pretty excited. Even when the game released, we immediately got for free the Cody Rhodes action figure persona card and the Sheamus 09 persona card. This was awesome. I had high hopes for the mode. I thought it was going to be great. But we also knew that there was a Trick Williams persona card and a Seth Rollins Shield version persona card in there as well. These came with updated entrances, updated Trons, all these different things that made these persona cards seem awesome. And well, now we've kind of taken a turn in the other direction. They're continuing to release new persona cards, but we still don't have a quick, accessible way to get the Trick Williams persona card or the Seth Rollins persona card. Both of these are hidden behind collecting oddities, and to get these oddities, you have to open packs, and there's less than a 2% chance that you will be able to pull these oddities from the packs, and then much less the ones that you actually need. But this is kind of the deal with card collecting in general, right? It's always a game of chance. It's always sort of gambling, you know, either whether with your My Faction points or with actual money, which is where it kind of gets into a problem. But for me, it's just the overall how unlikely it is to be able to unlock these things that are giving me an issue. Now, let's talk about the idea of card collecting in general. So in card collecting types of games, the idea is to get the best cards possible to help you win the other events and things like that. But here's my big issue. With the way that the live events are currently structured, it doesn't actually benefit you to work to get a good set of cards. It actually doesn't benefit you to collect cards at all. With the live events, the requirements are so specific and kind of odd, to be honest, that really the traditional method of card collecting, of trying to get the best overall superstars, doesn't actually help you. It kind of actually hurts you. For example, in this one of the current live events is called the Zap Zoe event. You have to beat a 94 overall Zoe Stark in under 5 minutes. But the requirement for that, to be able to participate in it, is to use a Sapphire card, mid-70s, upper 70s overall superstar. I personally have not been able to beat this event yet at all. The other day I was in this event and I hit Zoe Stark with 3 finishers and a couple of signature moves, and still she kicked out and the time ran out on me. I got a draw. The best I've been able to hope for in these is a draw. I get having requirements for live events. I get it. Make me use a brawler, or make me use a high flyer, or something like that. Some classification that is available across all of the ratings. But right now, to make me use a Sapphire card against this 94 overall, it just seems ridiculous. So tell me in the comments if you've been able to beat this one. I was able to beat the Bronson Reed one a couple times, but only because I used the action figure Cody Rhodes and super finishers. For me, that's been the key. You have to use super finishers. And it's super frustrating. These events are kind of skewed in one direction or the other. And for example, the one with the Dudleys right now, where you have to take on Judgment Day. You're using Sapphire Dudley's cards, 75 and 76 respectively, I believe, against 94 overall Damian Priest and Finn Balor. So one, you have a very small chance of winning that in the first place. Two, you're depending on an AI partner to help you, which doesn't happen. The other day, I was on the ground. Damian Priest climbed the ladder. Devon, standing next to the ladder, watched him get the briefcase down. On top of that, in these events, you have to hit a certain number of My Faction points before you can even win it. So you've got to do taunts or finishers or something like that. And so the odds are very stacked against players to be able to even grind out for these things. And now I'm not complaining so much about them being challenging. Again, I said in another video, these things should be challenging, but they should also be possible. They should also be accessible, and they should also give me a reason to want to upgrade my cards. Give me a reason to want to make my cards better. Give me a reason to want to move forward in the game. Right now, the only thing that I'm trying to do is unlock persona cards. There's no benefit for me to continue to try to get better and better cards because I'm not going to be able to use them in these live events. And so that's unfortunate, and I think that's a big miss. I know that I used to play a lot of Madden Mobile back in the day, and that was the goal, right? I want the best possible quarterback. I want the best possible running backs and wide receivers, and there would be events that would force you to use a certain position of player or a certain type of player, but you could still use a highly rated player of that position. Most of these live events come on very, very strict time frames. You have a certain number of days to complete this event before it goes away. I get that. It makes sense. However, when you're trying to unlock something like a persona card, there should be a way to continue forward in that outside of it. For me, the thing about the persona cards that's frustrating is the question marks on my roster. It just doesn't look like a completed game to me when the roster is not unlocked. So to see this live event go away, and then for it not to be possible for me to fill that spot is really incredibly frustrating as a player. I want my roster to be complete. And when we're talking about a live event that has a time window of 4 days, I can pay several $100s to try to unlock this persona card, which I'm never going to do, or just have to look at this incomplete roster, which just frustrates me. You know, it's annoying. With all of these live events and all of these things going on and all of these persona cards and all of that, it's just a lot for players. It's a lot, and it's too much to be able to do unless you're just going to sit there and grind and grind and grind. I saw a video not too long ago of somebody talking about grinding it out to get enough My Faction points to buy the Legend Hulk Hogan so they could unlock the action figure Hulk Hogan. It took them 3.5 hours or 4 hours or something like that to be able to get enough My Faction points. I can't do that. I could do that over time. I can do that over time. I play for, a couple hours a week. So yeah, sure, I could unlock all the My Faction points I needed over the course of a week or 2 weeks to get that Hulk Hogan card, but it won't be there still. It goes away in a couple of days. And so my options become do nothing except for play 2K, spend the money, or not get the thing. And personally right now where I'm landing is not getting the thing. I'm not going to get the Hulk Hogan card. I'm probably not going to get the Roman Reigns card. I'm probably not going to get the Rock card. It's just not going to happen. And so for me, I just have to move on. So that's frustrating to me about these live events. And, in turn, like, even if you try, even if you go all in, you just still no guarantees. For the Roman Reigns, you need Sami Zayn. I've unlocked multiple deluxe promos and punches packs, and I haven't gotten a single promos and punches card. Not the Sami Zayn. I haven't gotten a single promos and punches card in all the packs that I've opened. And so I've unlocked, I think, through My Faction points and things like that, 5 of the deluxe punches and promos packs, and I've gotten 0 punches and promos cards. Again, because it's a 2% chance that you're going to get these cards. 2% chance. And players are complaining. Players are upset about it. Players don't love this mode in the first place. They don't love being forced to play this mode. And they don't love the price tag that is attached to being able to get those things without it. And so for me, I have to agree, this mode started out with so much potential and started out with so much hope from players, because the last 2 years of My Faction were bad. They were bad. And I think we can all agree that this year is probably the least bad. There are some fun things about it. There are some interesting things to do in there. There are some things that are terrible. But for me, the cons far outweigh the pros. For me, the bad things completely overshadow the good things. And I just can't get behind this mode and the way that it is structured currently. I know that there is a lot of players out there that are saying that they should give us the Roman Reigns persona card. They should give us the Rock persona card. I don't see that happening. I don't see it happening at all, because what will happen if they do turn around and give us those things for free is we're going to have outrage from players who did spend the money, who did do the things, who did invest in trying to get those things. I don't see 2K giving those things away for free, especially because people are paying for them. 2K is a business. They're here to make money. And if people are going to spend $400, $500, I think the highest I've seen so far is $900 to try to unlock these Persona cards, then 2K is going to let it. People are putting up the money because they want it, and good on them. Great for them. It's not going to be me. So I don't see them giving us the Roman Reigns or Rock Persona cards for free. I don't see that happening. I don't see them giving away the Hulk Hogan card. Maybe they will. Who knows? But it just doesn't seem like that's going to happen. Last thing I want to talk about is glitches. It's glitches. So let's say that you do go all in and you do want to grind out some My Faction points. I think one of the quickest ways to do that is through Faction Wars or weekly towers and things like that by doing the daily challenges. It's less about the matches that you complete and more about how you complete them. Do all of the tasks in the match, like do the finishers, do the signature move, do the taunts, do the 10 grab attacks or 10 heavy attacks or whatever is required for your current character. When you do those things, you'll max out your My Faction points for that match, and it goes pretty quickly. You can get 500 to 600 My Faction points from every match that you play, plus whatever is attached as a reward for that match. So that's the way to do it. Here's the problem. Started a faction war a couple days ago. Wasn't able to finish it at the time, and which is fine. You can save it and come back to it. Last night I came back to it, and I was at the final level with 4-on-4 match in stage 3 of 5. I was playing, things were going well. I got the pinfall, got the win, but the match didn't end. We couldn't go for any more pinfalls, couldn't even put in submission holds. I was trying everything I could to figure out how to end this match, and it never actually ended. Had to quit the match. And what happens when you quit the match in Faction Wars? You have to start all over from the beginning. And so glitches like this are happening all the time, and it's wasting players' time, and it's costing us the opportunity to continue to get those My Faction points and continue to be able to move towards unlocking the rewards that we want. And 2K doesn't seem to be too concerned about it. So that's my issue with My Faction. Like I said, though, there are some fun things about it, but outside of that, it just seems like everything is so far out of balance that the investment that you put in is way, way, way more than you're ever going to get out of it. And as long as that's the case, as long as it remains so far out of balance, I think you're going to see two things happen. One, players are not going to play it. Or two, players are going to continue to get vocal about it and continue to be upset. I saw this post on Instagram the other day by WWE Games about My Faction, and hundreds and hundreds of comments, all of them just negative about how bad this is, like how out of balance this is. I don't disagree. This mode had so much potential and had so much of an opportunity to continue to add value for players, but instead of adding value, they've swung so far in the opposite direction. And it's hard to watch, and I hope that they will make some changes. There's a lot of people talking about it. There's a lot of people wanting changes. There's a lot of people wanting them to make some updates and things like that. I hope 2K will listen. There have been some things recently, some bigger things that they have listened to us on. They have listened to players. I mean, you think about what's the status in community creations. They unbanned him because as a community, we were vocal about it. And they came to a resolution, came to an agreement, and I hope it worked out for status. I hope it worked out for 2K. I want to see it mutually beneficial for everybody. We need to do the same thing with My Faction. We need to do the same thing. We need to get vocal. We need to let them know what we want. We need to let them know what we don't like, and continue pushing forward, continue pushing for change. I think that is the way that this mode gets any life in it at all, because currently it provides no value. All it does is take away from the actual game. All it does is take away from the fun of it. It takes away from the joy of playing it. It makes it feel like a task or a job almost, like I have to do this in order to do this. And I don't want my video games to feel like that. I don't want my fun to feel like work. It's supposed to be fun. And so let's make it fun again, 2K. Come on, let's make My Faction fun. I believe in you guys. You've done some amazing things. You've done some amazing work. Fix it. That's all we're asking. Make it better. Well, hey guys, if you did enjoy this video, go ahead and hit like down below and subscribe to the channel. If you know somebody who would enjoy this video, why don't you share it with them? That would be super awesome. And thanks again for hanging out with me today on Rumble Rewind. We'll see you next time.